Welcome back to the Britball YouTube channel. Today we are addressing not part of our series, but an in general talk about trades that are going to happen across the NFL in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Stuff that has happened in the form of JJ Watt, and what could happen when free agency opens in March later on. So we've got a few stories to talk about. We've got, as you can see,
we're just nitpicking stories, really. We're just choosing main ones. This isn't our overall free agency video or anything.
We've got three, obviously in the thumbnail, we've got Russell Wilson, JJ Watt and Kyle Van Noy. Three of the most breaking stories in the NFL at the moment. It will change, obviously, because one of the NFL insiders released a tweet saying next week will be
a bloodbath.
It'll be a bloodbath of cuts and restructuring deals. If they can't get the restructure of the line, they'll just cut them completely for the 12 teams that are over the cap limit at the moment. So I'll expect many more videos of this nature come next week when the bloodbath has been settled. But for now, we've got a few stories to talk about.
So first off, I'm going to talk about Russell Wilson. We've had the report early doors, really, a couple of weeks ago, that he's frustrated with the amount of times he gets sacked, which is a lot. But then you could say he runs into a lot of sacks, but that's not what we're debating today. We're just covering this trade rumour. So there was the rumour that he was very unhappy about him getting sacked. And then now it's been revealed the teams that he'll go to. He would go to the Cowboys, the Saints, the Raiders, or the Bears. And this was always a weird revelation, really. Like saying to your wife, I won't divorce you, but I'd shag Margot Robbie, all of this. I'd shag your mate. I'd shag the other two. Yeah. So, it's an odd thing to say.
Yeah,
it'll be a big old trade.
Yeah, Personally, I don't think anything will happen. I just think Russell Wilson is getting his agent and his party or whatever to leak information that he's unhappy, which has been no surprise probably since he touched down in Seattle with his O-line. He had a decent O-line at times, but as of recently it's been nothing short of weak. But I think he's getting his agents to release information like this to say he's unhappy, to hopefully get Pete Carroll, who is basically the CEO, the president, the prime minister, the dads, the nan, everything. He owns Seattle basically. He's got too much power.
Yeah.
Hopefully all of this will actually make him wake up and realise what a talented QB you've got at the helm in Russell Wilson, and actually give him some help, because he's the most sacked quarterback in the league, I think alongside maybe Ben Roethlisberger or whatever, but he's the most sacked quarterback in the league, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league, and he's asking for help, and you're saying no, you don't need it, you're fine, you're good enough as you are. If you gave Russell Wilson a good O-line, the Seahawks wouldn't be crashing out in weeks 1 or 2 of the playoffs. In all of his seasons at Seattle, he has missed the playoffs once. And he's asking for a bit of help so he can become better and really get you that one game further. So I personally think week 1 of the 2021 season, Russell Wilson will be quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. Yes. But if he's still unhappy, he could easily push for a trade. And there are a few teams that are under the cap still.
Yeah. And then I would agree. When this first came out, I thought 80% chance we'll stay in Seattle. But then there's been some interesting stuff coming out since of when he had meetings in, I think, week 13 after the team was sliding a little bit. Had a meeting about the offense and his proposals of changing things to more pass-central game. Got totally shut down. He stormed out the meeting. And, quarterback not getting along with the head coach is usually a recipe for a trade. And then also another story that came out, and you could even see it when you were watching the Super Bowl, is when Russell Wilson was watching the Super Bowl with Roger Goodell, the commissioner, and he was fuming. He was so angry that Brady was out on the field and not him. So, fuel to the fire, I guess.
Yeah.
There's another tweet about Russell Wilson's camp really peddling some trade talk, but who knows. So this is the likely trade package, a bit similar to Deshaun Watson's, but really he's a bit older and maybe one less first round pick or one less starting player.
Mm-hmm.
But arguably the better player this day.
Yeah.
Next we have JJ Watt.
Yeah, JJ Watt is an interesting one. He has signed for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, when I tell you that I was not the only person in not only the UK but the world who didn't have a clue that he was going to the Cardinals, there were talks of the Bills, there were talks of Buccaneers, Green Bay, Chiefs at some point.
Browns.
The Browns, yeah, he was apparently heavily considering the Browns. And then I woke up, well, I didn't wake up, but I got a tweet from you saying, and you sent it to me into my inbox saying, he's a Cardinal.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm sorry? Like, this is what I don't understand with JJ Watt, is that, well, this trade in general, or free agency, whatever it is, he says he wants to go to a competitive team. He says he's too old or whatever to join a team that is in a rebuild, so that he wants to start changing the Super Bowl, or the playoffs at least. And he wants to join a team that he will make a significant impact at. He doesn't want to be the number one, doesn't want to be the number two potentially. All three of them are under threat at the Cardinals. You've joined the fourth best team in your division.
Yeah.
You've joined the fourth best quarterback in your division. You have joined a division that is, I would say, the hardest in the NFL. And you have joined a team where they have your direct rival in Chandler Jones at your position. So I think Chandler Jones had 1.5 more sacks since they've both been in the league together, or whatever. Your spotlight is now shared as opposed to just being on you, which I thought that's what you wanted. I thought you wanted the spotlight to be on you because you are a very, very good player. You've joined the hardest division in football. No disrespect to the Cardinals. They will change the playoffs, yes. But you've got the 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Rams to get past. Rams with Matt Stafford, they're having talks of winning the division, along with the 49ers when they've got all their injury players back. You've got the Seahawks, who I don't think they will win their division because of the disconnect between Wilson and his O-line and Wilson and Pete Carroll. There's a power issue going on. And you've joined the Cardinals. You know, yes, Kyler Murray has potential. He's got a huge ceiling. He had a great jump from year 1 to year 2. But at the end of the day, you are still joining the fourth best team in your division, yet alone one of the most competitive in the NFL.
Yeah. And just to touch on what you said earlier about their options already, you've got Chandler Jones, who's rushing. You've got Jordan Phillips, who's solid. He will be in the pass rush. And you've got Buda Baker that will move up into the box. So it's hard to see where he'll fit. Maybe he just wants to go somewhere sunny.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is that this is no longer a footballing decision. Is that he's getting on. He realises, okay, let's just go to a place where it'll make me happy. I'm going to come to the end of my career. He's got him and his wife are personal trainers. Well, they're both athletes. I don't know what his wife does, but let's go to sunny Arizona.
Yeah, what the herd was saying was where he was
herd.
looking at Buffalo, he was looking at Arizona. Oh, well, if you go to Buffalo, you have to buy a holiday home. If you go to Arizona, you don't have to buy a holiday home.
So he's pocketing more about 31 million. There you go.
I mean, I doubt JJ Watt is thinking about holiday homes. He's a competitor, but
I think
maybe
I think he's just winding down his career.
Yeah, maybe he just wants to chill in Arizona, you know. So
it's lovely weather, so I don't blame him. Yeah.
Then we've got an interesting one that no one's really talking about with Kenny Golladay, one of the best wide receivers, and people are sleeping on him now because he was injured pretty much the whole of last year. But he's a great contested catch guy, and we've got the Lions GM really not being all that convincing when pleading his case to keep Kenny Golladay. He's saying he'll make the best decision for Kenny. I mean, that's kind of opening the door and kind of hinting the fact that Kenny wants to move and the best option for him would be to move. So that would be really interesting. I mean, any team he goes to would be a great fit. I think he would be fitting into most teams as a number 1 or number 2. I'd love him to go to the Bills, but I don't think we can go to the Bills. So
no. I was just trying to find. They did release Golden Tate and someone else recently to free up cap space. Don't know whether that's the issue, but I think there's been talk of him being franchise tagged as well.
Golden Tate's New York Giant.
Is he? Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong team. Shit, I'm thinking of the wrong team. I thought it was the Lions for some reason. I swore it was the Lions. Oh, never mind. Cool. Yeah, with Kenny Golladay, I mean, if you're being given lukewarm answers like this, it's not written in the stars, but it's probably fairly obvious that they're looking at moving on from him for whatever reason. I think if you've just traded for Jared Goff, I think you're going to need to get a new weapon for him, whether it is Kenny Golladay or not. I don't know if there's a mistrust in him or not, but yeah, a few teams be interested in him. I mean, he's a talented guy.
He'd be asking for a lot of money, I think.
Yeah, I think money would be an issue, but if it's the best for the Lions and best for Kenny, we could be looking at a contract extension. But it's more hinting at adios.
I want him on the Broncos. Give
Drew Lock another weapon.
No, new quarterback. But I want him on the Broncos with Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. I think that would be a great wide receiving unit. But yeah. Then we got the shock of the day yesterday.
Yeah,
it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Either yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Very recent.
So Dolphins 1 year into a 4-year, $51 million contract are releasing veteran Carl Van Noy. And this was a shock. I mean, their defense was great last year. He wasn't a standout piece, but when you look at it, he was added 1 year. Defense was great 1 year. It was shocking the years before. So he's always a good presence, and you're cutting him straight away 1 year into it, and you're paying him $30 million guaranteed anyway. So it's not like you're freeing up that much cap.
No.
So that means you're paying him $30 million for 1 season. It's not. That's quarterback money. That's not linebacker money. Mm-hmm. And a bit of a shock yesterday.
I don't really understand this because they're under the cap by I said it was like $22 million or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So you're freeing up. I think they're freeing up $10 million in cap space. The guy loved Miami. He loved his teammates. The teammates loved him. That was no secret. He enjoyed it. I mean, he's been to places where he hasn't enjoyed before, but he's actually come out and said how much he enjoys Miami. The defense had a significant increase under Brian Flores with this guy. Admittedly, he hasn't had one of his best career years, but he's a personality in the room, in the dressing room. So I don't really understand this, to be honest. I mean, if you're freeing up $10 million, you've got 22, there's 32. Deshaun Watson, whether that talk is true or not, I don't know. He's about 35 roughly.
Yeah.
So this could be playing into that. It might be. I don't really know, but this was really shocking news. I mean, any team would be happy to have him.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that won multiple Super Bowls with Bill Belichick. He's been under the tutelage of the best defensive coach of all time. He's a great guy to have, and especially for the Dolphins, you're playing the Pats twice a year. You've got an inside look into their defensive playbook with Carl Van Noy, but you're letting him go. The only thing I can say is Brian Flores is a no-nonsense guy. I mean, he's not going to keep a guy on the team for the sake of it.
He's ruthless.
He's ruthless. When he came into the role, he cut half the defence. Mm-hmm. And if he thinks that it's not the right choice for his team, he'll just cut you straight up.
I can only assume that Brian Flores has seen something, or has got something massive planned with the spare cap.
A new route.
Yeah, he must have something. I'm leaning towards this as a cap thing as opposed to him not playing well, because sure he didn't have the best season, but he was still good.
Yeah, he must have something up his sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, with you can do a lot with $30 million under the cap, but that's the only thing I can think of, because I doubt you'd cut your losses a year into a 4-year contract, giving away $30 million for free. So there you go.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning towards this is a cap issue, and Brian Flores has got something up his sleeve that he's planning that we're going to look forward to. Maybe even next week there might be more cuts or whatever with the Dolphins. We don't know, but it must be reasoning behind this that we don't know about.
Hopefully we'll see.
Yeah.
So that is today's trade talk all done. we probably do this once a week in free agency because there's going to be so much going on. This is more of a speculative video, and as free agency starts, I think in about a week now, there will be a lot more to update you guys on. Make sure you give any support if you enjoy the video. Yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.